Hello, boys and girls. It's time for your math lesson. We are looking at 6-2 today on Thursday, and this is page 315. We aren't going to be working in the book right away, though. Right now, I want to do a quick practice with you. What if we are going to add 100 to these numbers? If you look at 259, how many hundreds do you already have? You're right, you already have 2. So 2 plus 1 more 100 would be how many? 2 plus 1 is 3, so it would be 300, and then 59 stays the same. So the answer would be 359. Next one, 421 plus 100. What do we look at? Yep, you're right. We're going to add 100 to the 4. And that would be 5. 521. 521. And the next one. Ooh, this one is subtracting, so be careful here. Always look at the operation and see what we need to do. 458 minus 100. If we take 1 away from the 4, it turns to a 3. 4 minus 1 is 300, and then 58 stays the same. All right, now we're going to come over here, and we're going to do some mental math this way, where we just count over the next 100. So if we already have 497, and we want to add 5 more, what I like to think about is put 5 fingers up, just like this, and then think about 7 plus what makes the next 100? 7 plus 3 makes a 10, right? So we go 497, 498, 499, 500. And then we have 2 left, 501, 502. So the answer would be 502. And the way we got that is we added 3 to get 500 plus 2 more, because 5 equals 3 and 2, right? So 7 plus 3 makes a 10. We get to 500. 501, 502. The answer is 502. How about this one? 695. How many would we add to a 5 to get a 10? We take 5 from here. And we're left with 1 more, because 5 and 1 equals 6. 5 plus 5 is 10. So put 6 fingers up and start with 695. 695. 696, 697, 698, 699, 700, and 1 more is 701. We write that like that. And the last one, how many do we take from the 9 to put with the 4 and make a 10? Yeah, 6. And then we're left with 3 more. So 394, 395, 396, 397, 398, 399, 400. 401, 402, 403. The answer is 403. All right, now we're going to look at page 315 in our book. And we are going to do a couple looking at how many squares, how many sticks, and how many circles to make a number in the hundreds. So if you look at we'll just start with number 1. Number 1, we have 6 squares. So they are, 6 squares. And I like how they kept a little space between 5 and 6. I forgot to do that. And then 7 10 sticks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. and there's 0 circles. So we have 6 in the hundreds. We have 7 in the tens, and we have 0 in the ones. So what number would that be if we have 600, 7 tens, and 0 ones? You're right, the total would be 670. All right, that's how we're going to do that. Now we're going to skip forward and turn the page. And those magic secret code cards, you have them in your packet. You don't need to really do anything with them unless you want to cut them out and kind of play with those and see what numbers you can make if you have some tens and ones at home. Otherwise, we're just going to go on to page 316. I know I'm going kind of fast, but you can rewatch it if I'm going too fast. Okay, so now number 8 already gives you an example. It shows you 382 and it breaks it up. It expands the number. 300 plus 80 plus 2. Now look at number 9. We'll do that one together. The number is, say it with me, 738. How do we expand 738? You're right. We look at how many hundreds we have. How many hundreds do we have? 7. How do we write 700? There you go. Now look at the next place, the 3. So we looked at the 7, now we're looking at the 3. The 3 is in the tens place, isn't it, boys and girls? How many tens? We have 3. What would that be? You're right, it would be 30. So we go next door and we say plus 30. And then finally, in the number 738, we have how many ones? You're right, 8. So plus 8. And that is how we write expanded form for 738. Now we'll skip down to number 12. And if you look at number 12, it already has expanded form. It shows 400 plus 50 plus 9. Now what you're going to do is pretend you have those secret code cards and you're going to squish them together and you're going to put the tens where the tens need to go and the ones where the ones need to go. So together, 459, we write it just like that. Whoops, 459. And that's how we write 459. All right, last one we're going to go through today is number 16. If you look down at number 16, it has a space first, and then it says what it equals. Now this time, boys and girls, it's not in order. Look at this. It shows a 5 first. That's not the hundreds, that's the ones. Then it shows the hundreds, and we have 900. And then finally, we have 40. So let's just take a look at that. In your book, it says something equals 5 plus 900 plus 40. How do we put that all together? You do it the same way. You just start with the hundreds. So how many hundreds, boys and girls? Yes, 9. We put that first, 9. Then we look at the 5 or the 40. You're right, the 40. So then 40 would come next, and we write that in the tens place. 4 tens makes 40. And finally, the last part of this would be the 5. The 5 is in the ones place. So we are going to go ahead and write a 5. So for number 16, the answer is 945. We got that because we put those 3 numbers together in the right order. Hundreds first, then the tens, then the ones. If it doesn't have a ones, tens, or hundreds number, what do you put there? You're right, you'd put a 0. So if you look at number 22, it shows 40, or 2 plus 400. Do you have any tens in that number? No, 2 plus 400. You would say 402. So that's what it equals, 402, because you don't have any tens to put in the tens place. All right, that is your lesson for today, boys and girls.